And we are off. We see a Spanish for knights. Yep.
Yep. It is a Spanish four knights there from Paulina, and there we see d4. And well, Paulina, she is so fast, bashing out the moves.
Polina had a nice win earlier in this opening, earlier in the match. She took an f6 and played d5. And her space advantage proved to be more important than Black's bishop pair. So let's see. And yeah, there she goes again. Can Black take everything and take on c2? We're about to find out.
We are absolutely about to find out. And are we going to see rook to c1? Yeah, rook to c1. Oh no, rook to d2. And the evaluation bar is like, no, 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 you're just giving away.
Yeah, White's not a pawn here, and it doesn't seem to be for enough. Rook d1, not an easy move to find. So Wenjun up a pawn here, and I think she can try to trade it to queen with queen c4. Again, look at Wenjun's clock. I mean, her ins. Oh, queen a4, that's another pawn.
No, she doesn't take it. And this gives a chance for Paulina to go b3, queen b3 at least, just to keep that pawn alive. It's, yeah, Wenjun might be up a pawn, but it's not the best pawn there, let's face it, on d6. And if white can just somehow maneuver the knight to e3, c3, then there is going to be a bind. So b5 played.
All right, maybe queen takes, offering a queen trade. I think Black would be more than happy to trade at the queens. It's then going to be easier to eventually put that extra pawn of work in the endgame. Queen a2, Paulina keeping... Ooh, wait, is there... apparently rook c5 is really good here for Black, but I don't know why the engine is so happy.
Yeah, maybe it's because d5 perhaps can't be stopped. And there we see rook to b8, also good enough. I mean, d5 is really tempting, right? To get the bishop to b4, just looking at those two rooks. And rook to e3, oh. I was... No, anything can still happen in this.
Right, so rook f3, rook b7, defending f7. Okay, king g2. Black up a pawn here, but white certainly has some play. And Paulina having a very slight edge on the clock.
Yeah, but she does have pressure as well, and she's playing with the initiative. There she attacks the queen and now targets the d6 pawn. Maybe we're going to see a repetition. Rook c2. You know, we've seen this consistently. The players do have that chance to repeat, and they go like, no, just twice, and then play on until the very end.
Right, but Paulina does seem to be slightly more comfortable in these time scrambles, you know, moving quickly, posing some threats, as here she's also up a little bit on the clock.
Yeah, and now she's threatening rook
take on
a2.
c7, and she's now, the material's even, and white's got a b pawn, or b5 maybe?
Yeah. And there we do see rook b5, threatening rook b7, rook d7 forced. And what about black's king? Queen to c6.
I like queen c6, pinning the pawn on e4, and Wenjun goes for it. All right, let's see. Yeah, maybe rook b4, but it feels like black's very fine there.
Yeah, there's also rook d5. And Paulina goes for that.
Ooh, king f6, and she's just in time. King e6 and d5. Black gets the pawns rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. She doesn't go for that, but still. King e6, king e3.
c3, okay, rook behind the pawn. But now, king d5 maybe, and king c5 looks pretty good. Yeah, and she goes for it.
Absolutely. 3 seconds.
Take an a6, yeah, and d5, and you protect everything. Oh, she goes for it. Big mistake. There goes the g-pawn.
Yeah, but the black king is coming in.
All right, Wenjun is an incredible bullet player. The one thing is just that I feel like she's slightly more prone to flagging than Paulina.
King e6. Yeah, and then you see rook a5, king up to e3, throwing a few checks. Wenjun down to 4 seconds. g5.
Paulina might hold a draw here. I think still black is up a pawn, but I don't see a way to progress. Okay, king. F.
Yeah. No, I'm just wondering whether Paulina is trying to flag Wenjun. No, okay, there you see the players repeating. Well, no. King f1? f4.
f4, wow. Paulina going for the win. Rook f3 is a draw, though. And, d4, d4. No, okay. Oh. D4, yeah, wow. D4. Paulina thing is d3. Check. Check
Rook
and
E2.
d2. Check and d2. And Wenjun should win this game. I mean, Polina took way too much risk. Still not over. Rook g2. Rook g2. Rook f8. Check. Check.
Yeah. And now the king.
Check. Check. Check.
2
Check
seconds.
Rook g2.
1 second.
Yeah. King f3. Rook g6 is made in 2. No, wait. Rook g... Okay, she should take the... Okay, and now she should win.
Yeah.
What a game.
Whoa! You see Zhu Wenjun there making moves with just 1 second on the clock. And there we do see Zhu Wenjun extending her lead to 3 points. She goes for a quite solid setup. Knight to d2. Will she go knight to h4? Try to hunt down this bishop on f5.
Yeah, so we saw this earlier in the match with Polina getting a completely fine position out of the opening. So I'm slightly surprised to see Zhu Wenjun repeating it. But crucial win there for Zhu Wenjun in the last game. She keeps a 3-point lead. But yeah, again, it feels like when Zhu Wenjun gets down to those final seconds, it's so scary. It feels like she's about to flag. And whereas you don't have that same feeling with Polina.
Yeah, you somehow feel that Polina is much more experienced at this, and it's something, you know, that we can see from her Title Tuesday experience. And we saw the evaluation bar shoot up. Perhaps knight to e5 is on the agenda. Well, it's still very much in the air. Knight to e5, and Zhu Wenjun close to trapping the bishop. I mean, g4, f3, e4 in the air.
Yeah, e4 makes a lot of sense here. The bishop will have to stop back and then maybe move the knight out of the way. We had a similar situation earlier in one of the games. Just move the knight out of the way, and then again you can advance with e4, e5. Yeah, and she goes for that.
Yeah, and also you can advance with f4 because of the king. Now the king's on h7. Knight can come to c5.
Rook cd1, knight b6, nice move, hopping into c4.
Watch out.
C1. Ooh.
And now
Bishop
knight to
c8
c4.
maybe?
Still tough position.
Yeah, Polina keeping the tension. h4 by Zhu Wenjun, aiming to open things up with h5. So h5 by Polina. Nice move.
Yeah, very nice move there. And maybe just threatening to kind of go bishop to g7, rook to d8 and put pressure against d4. Zhu Wenjun down to 24 seconds. And there we see bishop f1. b5,
Right, b5
point.
anchoring in. Oh, sorry, I was just gonna say anchoring in the knight on c4, but also giving a nice outpost to the knight on c5.
Yeah, and there we just see a trade of the knight for the bishop. I like it because it means that white can make these moves f4, f5 with a lot more ease. But there we see Polina, she is keeping things alive by offering a trade of pawns. This is still very much anyone's game.
Yeah, it truly is. Yeah, g4, nice. Oh, I thought a nice push by Zhu Wenjun, but the computer doesn't like it. Queen e7 is a nice move pointed out by the computer, hitting the pawn on h4. But Polina's got 13 seconds on her clock to figure it out.
Yep, and well, she traded. She's still got it in the air. You can go queen to g7. You can go king to g7, but g5.
Or g5, okay, and rook f1. Ooh, h5, opening up the king side. Takes queen f5, looks terrifying. Queen f5? Uh-oh.
Yep. Attacking the rook.
And she goes 2 seconds. Check and rook f... Yeah, check queen h8 and rook f1. Queen h8 is the key. No, she misses it. And queen g8 though, or rook f7, you win the queen.
She could go rook f7. And Zhu Wenjun wins and extends her lead even further. 4 points now between them.
There's still a chance for Polina, but 4 points is a lot. With 15 minutes on the clock, she needs to win a few games in a row. I think if Zhu Wenjun wins one more, I think it's over.
Yeah, I mean, just we can do some quick maths, right? So say on average each game takes 2 minutes. We have probably 7 games remaining, or 6 games. Let's be conservative. Yeah, she has to win.
Right, but the games take like 3 or 4 minutes. So yeah, again, if Wenjun wins one more, I think the match is over. Anyway, Polina switching back to that Spanish 4 knights, where she has been having some success. D5, I guess. And now white has more space on the queen side.
Yep. And, well, 2 knights against 2 bishops, and it is a tense position, a5. Just they're clamping down on the queenside action. But the downside to this is that this rook on a1 is tied down to the defense of a5. And, well, queen to c4 invites f5 ideas. But there we see king to h7, f5.
F5, the computer doesn't agree with it, but I think a good idea to create some counterplay. Yes, it does hand white the e4 square, but at least black has the half open f file to work with now. Polina nicely positioning her knights. All right, so let's see what's going to happen. I mean, Polina doing what she needs to do. She's playing quickly. She's playing a good game. So let's see if she can win this one to make it close.
We're driving the rook backwards. Yeah, the thing is, though, because she's playing so quickly, she has to get those type of positions that elemental to play, you know, that don't require a lot of calculation, because it's just about instincts. And there we see Wenjun down to 23 seconds, and this is a really complicated position. Queen to f5 is potentially coming, so bishop h5 first. Ask the question of the rook, where are you going to go? Maybe bishop to g5 now.
She goes bishop g6 instead. Rook c4, maybe just bishop d8, just poking and prodding. Yeah, and now all of a sudden it's much easier for black to play as white. Black is having the slightly safer king, and black is asking the questions.
And queen comes down to e2. This is just maneuvering there from Paulina. I like your bishop to d8. There it comes.
All right, so b4 by Polina to defend the pawn. Bishop g6. Wenjun doing a good job. The time advantage is almost gone here, but h4, I like that move by Polina, taking away squares from the bishop.
And maybe setting up ideas of knight to g5. So that's where we see some maneuvering going on. Okay, h5. I'm not sure about that move. It concedes some squares. Bishop goes to h7, and Wenjun playing so quickly. Rook to f4.
Oh, if you take the knight, there's... Oh, but now bishop g5?
Yeah.
This might have been wrongly timed, but the white king is all of a sudden looking very fragile. Rook takes g4? d4, queen b3, creating an
Queen
unpleasant
b3?
pin.
She doesn't see it.
d5?
Knight c5.
Queen f7. e4
And now
or d4
e5,
played.
e4.
Okay. All right. Wenjun up a pawn, but white having some blockade here in the center. Very tense game. Queen c4? No.
Knight e4. And rook f8. Beautiful move there. Keeping everything defended. And she snaps a pawn on b4. Queen to
Knight
f7.
f5. The queen comes off, but Polina doing a good job, forcing black to trade on her terms, as this pawn on g6 is always a thorn in black's eye.
Well, the pawn on a5 is going to fall. And white
how do you defend this? Knight h6. No.
Yeah.
Knight h6.
She misses it.
And she finds it.
And knight f7,
White-
checkmate.
A crucial win for Polina to keep herself in the match, as now it's down to 3 points.
Yes, 11 minutes remaining. Well, it's going to be close. That's the only thing I'm going to say. She needs to basically win the rest of her games. I don't think...
Yep, so here we have a Catalan, which we've seen a few of in this match. Let's see how Polina is going to try to create some chances here.
Yeah, we see a3, threatening b4. That's why Polina plays a5. And now, what to do? I guess you just centralize your rooks and just play as quickly as possible to put pressure on Wenjun.
Yeah, and that's what she's doing. She's playing quickly, h6. Wenjun answers with h3, and she advances in the center with e5, which grabs more space, but the pawn on e5 can also be a weakness.
Yep. Yes. And, okay, I was just trying to mentally work out if this game is a draw, is the match more or less over for Polina?
I don't.
Because
I
we
don't think so because she just needs to win 2 more games and start the last game with 1 second on the clock, and then win that last game as well. Like she doesn't need to win the last game before the match clock expires, right? So I
okay.
think there's still time.
Okay, well, we see h4 being played. Ju Wenjun setting up her queen to g4. And if Ju Wenjun wins this one, is that
Then I
more or
think it's
less?
over. I think 4 points with like 7 minutes is too much. Yeah.
Okay, well, we see Ju Wenjun down on the clock once more, but she is putting the pressure on the Black King.
Bishop h3, eyeing the rook on c8. Polina having the lead on the clock, though. Here come her knights. This is a fight, and Jun dangerously low on time.
Yeah, queen to g4. Yeah, you just see Paulina, she is so good with no time on the clock. So we see bishop to f1, beautiful move, just defending c4, rook to d5. I mean, Ju Wenjun is making all the right moves. It's just that Paulina is just that little bit faster. Knight to c7 indicated by the computer, just attacking the rook, found where to go, probably all the way back to d1. Just make sure every single piece is protected. For Ju Wenjun, it's all about dragging the game out for as long as possible. 19 seconds of no tactical tricks. There's a threat against the e4 pawn.
Wow, and she sacrifices the exchange to open up this diagonal towards the Black King. Bishop d3. Uh-oh, this looks scary.
Yeah, but the bishop left the board.
Can you do this? Knight takes h6. Yeah, and the computer says yes. Wow.
Wow. Brilliancy with just 4 seconds left on the clock. Queen to g6 coming in. Knight to f7 is in the air. Rook c7. Bishop takes pawn. Knight to f5. Oi.
Polina hanging on though with all her might. Maybe rook h1 is still not over. She's down to 2 seconds. Gotta move, gotta move. Rook h1. Gotta move with 0.3.
She's got 1 second. And she lost on time. Polina Shivalova wins again. There is now a 2-point gap between Polina and Ju Wenjun. Wow, but that was such a brilliant game from Ju Wenjun. It was just the clock that was her downfall.
What a heartbreaking loss for Ju Wenjun. She still has a 2-point lead, but had she won that game, the match would have been over. But again, she's just a little bit more prone to flagging. She's just a little bit slower. And I think she needs to avoid getting down to seconds, as it's so easy to flag.
It's easier said than done, when you're playing bullet chess. And there we do see knight to f8, some maneuvering from Ju Wenjun. Black has a very sensible pawn structure, c6 and d5. And I like this move, knight to g6. The knight is threatening to jump into f4, queen to d2. And, well, we do see the bishop take the knight. And knight, there's no right. Rook takes e4 is going to be met by pawn takes e4, attacking the pawn, or just attacking the knight on f3.
Yeah, so I think you just have to play queen c1 to continue to defend the bishop on f4. And, okay, Ju Wenjun just trades, queen takes. And let's see what she's gonna... Wait, why is Polina thinking... Wait, what's going on? Did she disconnect her? What's going on? Because otherwise I'm sure this would have been played in a second.
Maybe even pre-moved.
Yeah, and queen f6 by Ju Wenjun. Because if white takes, then you recapture... Oh! Bishop takes h3. Big blunder by Polina.
Oh, and of course it is found by Ju Wenjun. Yeah, but rook to e3, another mistake.
Knight h2, she's fighting on though, h5, but Ju Wenjun is having a strong attack now on the king side. I think that blunder was caused because she was just a little bit annoyed the move before because something went wrong with the recapture.
Yeah, that, well, it's still plenty of time left and there is still margin for error. Queen to e2. I'm thinking knight to e5 from white, and there we do see Ju Wenjun setting up a pin. Some trades. Polina fighting hard.
G4, great move. I mean, if white can get a knight to e5, there's a chance, but the knight on h2 is super passive. Black has a majestic knight on e4. So let's see how Wenjun will try to finish this off.
Yes. And this is one of the great things about Wenjun. She is just exceptional at making those comeback recoveries. And then just 4 minutes and 37 seconds left in the match. Such an important game. Queen to d2, rook f8. It's all pressure against f3 and f2. h4 is going to be a clincher.
Massive pressure here from Black. I think it's going to collapse for Polina. Knight f5. Polina hanging on there. Oh, g3. That's a deck. Still not over. She's fighting. How do you finish? Oh, knight h4. Knight h4, you win the queen. That's it. That's a match.
Yeah. And Polina keeping the game alive. Nope. But Wenjun wins. And now she has a 3-point lead. There is only 3 minutes and 56 seconds. So Polina needs to win three games. Impossible.
Yeah, no, it's unless Wenjun loses super quickly, but she can just let the time run out. Okay, d3, perhaps a bit of a mouse slip, but it doesn't matter that much. Okay, c5, Polina trying to play quickly. That's what she has to do. She has to win games in like a minute. Start that last game with a few seconds on the clock. But yeah, it looks like it's just going to be Wenjun.
Yeah. And speaking about that situation, we also saw Alice Lee managed to take the match to tie breaks in exactly that. She managed to start the last game with just, I think, 2 seconds left on the clock. It was absolutely unbelievable stuff. Yeah, queen to e2. But she needs to play quickly.
Yeah, Wenjun again having a very nice position here. Bishop pair, a little bit more space in the center, and nice play for her pieces. So yeah, I don't see her losing this game quickly.
No, I also don't even see like how on earth white can even get checkmated or something like that in this type of position. White has the bishop pair. Black has great knights, but there we see e4 attacking the knights and also this bishop on b7. What's going to happen? Bishop takes b, g2.
I think bishop takes g2 is forced, and I'm wondering if... Wait, this is just winning a piece. Bishop takes d5 and e takes d6.
Yeah. It's just gone wrong for Polina. But Wenjun just establishing her dominance at the bullet portion, because I suspected that this was going to be her weakest element, but nope. There she goes again, extending her lead to 4 points. Wenjun, it's just like that comment says. She's been so steady with her nerves that entire tournament. Very, very impressive.
She has been very impressive for sure this event. Yeah, you would think like, oh, maybe in the bullet her opponents have a chance to strike back. I mean, I feel like in the bullet, yes, there are chances because, again, Wenjun is a little bit more prone to flagging, but her level is still incredible. And that's what she's showing right here. And yeah, she is on her way to the championship.
Yep. She is going to be the winner because we only have 1 minute and 17 seconds remaining in this match. And there is just no way that Polina can win 4 games in such time. And there we do see Polina getting a knight to e4. She has an excellent position, but 47 seconds on the clock for Wenjun.
Right, h4, h5. Yeah, I like what Polina is doing here, but it's all not going to matter. Wenjun creating some counterplay. Yeah, I mean, it's been incredible to watch her. I mean, she has been so steady throughout this event, and really nobody came close to her in terms of her play.
Yeah, absolutely nobody. She was never in any trouble. She never lost the lead. I mean, from the get-go, she's just been in dominant form. It felt like she was just destroying everyone. She came here with an agenda. Queen to e3 played, and 18 seconds remaining. Both of these players, they know.
Right. But, you know, Polina also had an incredible event. She knocked out some amazing players. Tan Zhongji, Ho Yifan, And it's just all because of her incredible fighting spirit, and of course also because of her incredible chess that she made it this far. I mean, both in the matches against Tan Zhongji and Hao Yifan, she defeated odds. She knocked out some strong players, came back from some very tough deficits, but she made it here, and she can be proud of that.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, she had an incredible run. And there we see Queen H6, Queen to B4. By the way, the match clock is down to 0. This is going to be the final game. And Ji Wenjun, once again, showing why she is the queen. Queen to G4, check. Rook G3. She can just... maybe Bishop to H8. Ah, no, Queen H1 is the big threat.
Saying Queen H4 is a blunder, but I don't know why. I don't see a mate or anything. Wait. Okay, that's not it, apparently.
Well, maybe the king can run.
All right, now there's got to be mate takes.
And
where's the mate, though?
I thought there might be some Bishop H8 mates. And there we do see Ji Wenjun checking. But the white king looks like it's going to escape.
Yeah, there's no more checks, so it's probably going to be over soon. She's still fighting. I mean, credit to her for keeping this game alive.
Yep, I'm sure both of these players have looked at the match clock situation, but they are still keeping the fight alive. And there we see Bishop F6, and Polina wins that final game. The score is 12.5 to Ji Wenjun, 9.5 to Polina Shivalova. Ji Wenjun is the Julius Baer Women's Speed Chess Champion. She just displayed powerful chess every single step of the way. She never looked phased, and just an unbelievable performance there from the four-time Women's World Champion.